When I made my video about Man of Medan, I pointed out what was a fairly large plot hole in the game. Specifically, why would they send the Manchurian gold back on a boat, ensuring that it would take weeks to get to America, when they could have just sealed it in barrels, loaded it onto a plane, and had it in America in under a day? This would have been better for security as well as speed, as they'd only have to worry about a single flight crew of people with security clearances, rather than an entire boat full of sailors finding out what was on board. Likewise, I said that the ending in which the main characters were executed by the army was preposterous, because there was nothing on the boat worth killing over. Manchurian gold wasn't illegal, and it's common knowledge both that the Japanese were absolute monsters in their treatment of the Chinese, and that the US government researched and manufactured huge amounts of chemical weapons. But what if there's a secret hiding in the game that explains both of these plot holes, and in fact completely justifies the Manchurian gold's presence on the boat, as well as the behavior of the US government even 70 years after the disappearance of the Orang Medan? Before we get into the evidence, we have to establish one basic piece of information: that the chemical weapon known as Manchurian gold was reverse engineered from the venom of the vampiric parasite featured in the game House of Ashes. The two substances are described as having incredibly similar effects on the human body, causing the heart to race and creating terrifying hallucinations. In the parasite, this makes perfect evolutionary sense, because they feed on epinephrine. The terrifying visions cause the adrenal glands to release epinephrine into the blood, and then the racing heart speeds up the movement of blood through the body so that the parasite can drain it that much more quickly. The Manchurian gold is a refined, far more powerful version of the venom, capable of not just creating fully convincing hallucinations, but also of making the heart race so fast that it kills anyone exposed to it. The likely explanation is that the Japanese military scientists discovered a long-dead vampire corpse in Manchuria, tested the dried remains of its venom, and figured out a way to replicate it artificially, then developed it until it was a far more powerful weapon. Now we come to the real question. What was on the boat that was so secret that the government was ready to murder people over it? And why did they use a boat instead of a plane? Simple. The US government recovered the vampire corpse from the Japanese research facility, and it, not the Manchurian gold, was the incredibly secret thing that they were shipping across the ocean. What proof do we have? I take you to the 4 coffins. One contains a soldier, one contains the corpses of 2 soldiers that were crudely attached via experimental surgery, and one contains what's left of a mutilated body stuffed into a child's coffin, which leaves 1 coffin left over. Take a look at it compared to the other coffins. Not only is it draped with an American flag like they are, heavy chains have been secured around it. A military coffin is a great way to move secret goods around the world. Just ask Frank Lucas, because no one would dream of opening up a US soldier's coffin and searching it. The cultural taboos are just far too severe. And with this coffin, they're taking no chances. Not only did they drape the flag over it to discourage people from disrespecting it, they locked it with heavy chains to be absolutely sure no one would open it under any circumstances. Why? Because there's a vampire's corpse inside. What other reason could they have to go to such lengths to protect a coffin? This also explains why you'd need to move these top secret materials on a boat rather than a plane. Planes are faster than boats, obviously, but they're more dangerous. And this vampire corpse would be so valuable that they could take no risks whatsoever in transporting it, especially since it's an entirely new life form, and the American scientists would have no idea what high altitudes could do to its body. They'd already established that it was stable at sea level, so they couldn't possibly risk moving it any other way. This also explains why the government is willing to kill to keep the Man of Medan a secret. After the events of House of Ashes, the US government finally has access to the bat monster corpses that it lost when the Medan disappeared back in 1947, and they're willing to go to great lengths to keep the existence of the bat creatures from their spaceship a secret. As Miller says at the end of the game, none of this happened. All of the circumstantial evidence points to the chained coffin having a vampire body inside of it, and while there's no solid proof to back up that theory, I would suggest that this line from Conrad is Supermassive Games winking at us and giving us all the evidence we need.
Yes, maybe that's little baby Dracula. Right there, and those are his parents, and they're lying in the dirt from their native country.
And then they all jump on Conrad and eat off his face. The end.
While Conrad might have been wrong about just how many vampires were in the hold with them, he was right that there was, in fact, a vampire just 15 feet away from where he was standing. I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more from me, drop by the stream on YouTube and Twitch. Weekdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, weekends, noon Eastern. Special thanks to my patrons Marissa, Desire, Eduardo, Brian, and Joanne. If there's any topics you want to see covered in future videos, please mention them in the comments section. I'll see you back here for more dark pictures, but until then, au revoir.